What's up, guys? It's Chuka. Today is the first time I'm making a video here on this channel. I just want to give you guys kind of like that dose of nostalgia in the old school commentaries that you probably grew up watching. This video and this channel is not necessarily deemed for a super young audience, your best class setups and whatever else is going on in the world of Call of Duty YouTube these days. No, this is more so dedicated towards those people who grew up watching, your Woody's Gamer Tag, your White Boy, 7th Street, your X-Jaws, even T-Martin to a degree, right? Like these are the channels that you grew up watching when you were like 13, 14 years old, just little like crazy little infants, little babies out there. Now you're probably, you got a house and kids. Maybe you're just working a dead end 9-to-5 job. This is a channel for those types of people. So, welcome if you're new. Of course you're new. This is the first video on this channel. Today I wanted to start this commentary and this channel off by talking about the recent article from Activision regarding the skill-based matchmaking. And so, as you guys know, skill-based matchmaking is pretty much the death of Call of Duty. Nobody enjoys skill-based matchmaking. No good players enjoy skill-based matchmaking, mainly because they are forced to fight clones of themselves. They are forced to play and stress over a video game. Nobody, especially my age, probably your age too, nobody wants to deal with all this after a long day of work or school. Nobody enjoys coming home after getting yelled at by their boss or having to deal with incompetent schoolmates or teammates or whatever, and then having to deal with even worse incompetent teammates here on this game, right? On Call of Duty, specifically Modern Warfare 3, we're talking about right now. A couple days ago here on July of 2024, Activision released a statement where they did test less strict skill-based matchmaking in Modern Warfare 3, and apparently they found out that players were, in fact, more likely to quit. Therefore, they were justifying the system's existence moving forward. There was an 18-page report. Who's going to read 18 pages, bro? Explaining Call of Duty's matchmaking process. However, after the devs missed the deadline, saying that they were supposed to talk about it, back in June, they missed the deadline. Players were up in arms. The pitchforks were out. The test showed that players with a wider skill gap were more likely to quit matches in progress and did not return to the game at a higher rate than players with unchanged matchmaking. They did post a graph, if you want to go check that out, on Charlie Intel's Twitter, which stated that lower to mid-level players stopped playing more frequently than higher skilled players, essentially saying that your casual fan base, your people who are going to play this game no matter what. The opposite. The higher skill players, the people who are playing this game no matter what, they're going to play this game literally no matter what, whether or not they're skill-based matchmaking. And so skill-based matchmaking obviously protecting your new players, your bad players, your lower skill players, right? Well, if you take skill-based matchmaking away from them, guess who they're facing now? Yes, they're facing you. They're facing sweats. They're facing people who are trying to make this a career, people who are trying to be the next Twitch streamer. And who wants to go against that? Imagine you pick up a new game, whether it's Apex Legends, Valorant. Let's say you pick up a new sport, and then you're faced immediately off with, the Steph Curry, LeBron Jameses of the world. Are you going to try harder at that sport? I know there's this whole argument of like perseverance, but at the end of the day, if it's just a hobby, if you're not trying to make this game, this passion your life, are you really going to spend, dedicated hours week in and week out, day in and day out, trying to get better at this just if it's a hobby? Like if you're going to try to do that, then you're probably going to eventually become one of the higher skill players. And then you're going to start complaining about skill-based matchmaking. So it's kind of both ends. Activision added that the likelihood of a player quitting during a match increased by 80%, and 90% of players in a loosened skill group did not return at a higher rate than the control group. This is pretty interesting. This basically means that, people are going to quit. People have no problem quitting when they feel like the game is rigged against them, when they feel like they are not having enough fun. Wow, go figure. Playing a better opponent may push players to become more proficient over time, but being severely outperformed in their matches, our testing has shown, instead leads players to quit matches in progress or to not even play multiplayer, Activision argues. There were also tests with tighter skill-based matchmaking. Results showed that the quit rate was down 90%, but it negatively impacted high-skill players, and so that idea was scrapped. As a former high-skilled player myself, I would say I'm not really one anymore. As you guys more and more watch this channel, you guys are going to see a lot of old gameplays because I haven't played and really watched Call of Duty in a long, long time. But when Black Ops 6 comes out, I do intend to get that, and I do intend to kind of bring back that nostalgic feel, hopefully with some better commentators, or better gameplays rather. And I think with a high quit rate of 90%, nobody's going to stick around. And this impacts high skill players, right? So basically, like, if your high skill players are constantly getting easy lobbies, those people are going to leave. And then so high school players end up playing with nobody. And so you can't have that, because then nobody's happy, right? Your high school players, your high skilled players are playing against nobody. They're playing against AI. And then your low skill players are leaving every game, and then, after enough, they're just never going to play the game again. So you have to be really careful in this situation, really delicate. But at the end of the day, yes, Call of Duty is dying due to skill-based matchmaking. You can say it, you can spin it however you want. They try to say that Call of Duty has had skill-based matchmaking since COD 4, and it's just been tweaked ever since. Now, I have not been playing Call of Duty since COD 4. I've been playing since Modern Warfare 3 as my first OG game, the 2011 version, not this game. And I can safely say I was dominating lobbies in Modern Warfare 3 and Black Ops 2, even in Black Ops 3 to a degree, like free-for-alls and dominations. I was pretty much near the top or at the top every single game. It wasn't until, Modern Warfare 2019 is where I started to kind of decline, and definitely was not quite the sweat as I used to be. That just comes with age. It comes with growing up and having different priorities. So I wanted to share my thoughts on the skill-based matchmaking article, as well as just talk about this is going to be the death of Call of Duty. Whether they know it or not, player numbers are down, player interest is down. You go around and you go to like a high school, a college. What are the main games that, the gentlemen in those universities and schools are playing, right? Very, very not often is it Call of Duty. And if it is, it's usually Warzone. And very, very few people nowadays say, hey, let's hop on and play a 6-man search and destroy, or let's play some domination. Nobody says this anymore. There's no incentive to play the game. And even if there was, it just doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel like the old days. X-Defiant is a game that just released that does not have skill-based matchmaking in its casual player base, casual modes, and people are loving it. People are thrilled with it. And you can say, oh yeah, maybe the numbers there aren't great either, but at the same time, skill-based matchmaking just chases away anybody who has any semblance of wanting to have fun in this game, right? Whether you're a bad player and you have skill-based matchmaking, you're never going to feel like you're actually playing the game, because you're never facing the good players. And some people are okay with that. I feel like most people are probably okay with that. And if you're a good player playing the game with skill-based matchmaking, you're also never really going to have fun, because you're only going to face good players. You're only going to have to sweat. You can only use the certain meta weapons. You can't experiment with a riot shield or gun or a knife, because otherwise you'll just get instantly deleted from the map and from the entire franchise, because you're not going to stick around if you can't feel like you have fun in this title. And that's what Call of Duty's at. In my opinion, the day Call of Duty died is the day they decided to cater towards the casual fan base more. They care more about the noobs. They care more about the low skill players, because, to face it, that's the majority now, over the high school players, over the veterans, over the people who've spent years and years of their life buying Call of Duty, staying at the midnight releases, downloading it, changing their time zone to New Zealand, watching Call of Duty since like the Blame Truth days, the OG days. These are the people that Call of Duty is now alienating. These are the people that they are chasing away in droves, because they want that fast dollar. They want the new players. They want people who spend money on microtransactions. And this is the day Call of Duty died. They chased away their OG franchise, their OG fan base. Think about all of the OG YouTube commentators or Twitch streamers who you grew up watching. How many of them still do commentaries? How many of them still get on the mic, super excited to talk about the game, super thrilled to just share their gameplay? And I get it, 13, 14, 15 years of doing the same thing. I understand that's going to take a toll on anybody, and that's probably, you have to evolve at some point. But the way that people talk and feel about Call of Duty now is just nowhere near the same as when they first started. Look at this map, Scrapyard, right? When it first came out in Modern Warfare 2 in 2009, the world was a different place. Call of Duty was a different place. And yeah, it's in this game now, Modern Warfare 3, but it's just because it's the same game, and You know, you might have the same weapons or streaks. Yeah, it doesn't mean those times are any better. I appreciate you guys so much for watching. Please leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed this style. I'm trying to bring back, you know, the old school commentaries, the old school nostalgia for you guys out there. And yeah, I'll try to do videos as often as I can. We'll see how much fun I have. And thanks for watching. I'll see you guys later. Peace.